What's up, you freaking geniuses? So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to graph a linear equation by plotting points, okay? And the key to this is actually making a table. Okay, so going to go through a few examples. Let's start with this one right here. So we're going to graph y is equal to 3x. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is make yourself a table. And in that table, you're going to have your x coordinates. Okay, your x coordinates go here, your y coordinates go here. Now, what do you plug in for your x and what do you plug in for your y? Well, the nice thing about that is you can plug in whatever you want, okay? Because it doesn't matter what coordinate points you choose. All they have to do is satisfy this equation right here, okay? So with that being said, one of the easiest numbers you can always start with is 0, okay? You always want to try and use easy numbers for this. Okay, so since I put a 0 right here in my x column, that means I'm going to plug in a 0 for my x right here. Okay, so this is how you do it. So we're going to say y is equal to 3 times x, right? But for x, we're going to plug in our 0. Okay, so 3 times 0, that's just equal to 0. Okay, so then we have y is equal to 0. Okay, so we found out what our y number is right here, right? It's also 0. Okay, so we just found an ordered pair right here. So we know this graph runs through this point right here, 0, 0. And 0, 0 is just at the origin right here, okay? Now, in order to graph a line, you need at least 2 points, okay? So we found one point right here. Now let's figure out what another point is. Okay, so let's plug in another number for x right here. And this time, let's just say, let's plug in the number 1. Okay, again, you want to keep the number simple. Okay, so we're going to plug in a 1 for x right here this time. Okay, so then writing it down here, we're going to have y is equal to 3 times x, but our x this time is going to be a 1, right? Times 1. So 3 times 1, that's just equal to 3. So then here we have y is equal to 3. Okay, so we found what our y coordinate is here, right? It's a 3. Okay, so now you can see we found another ordered pair right here, 1, 3. Okay, so let's plot that. So 1, 3 would be, let's see, 1 and then 1, 2, 3 right there. Okay, so we found our 2 points right here. And then all you have to do is draw a line that runs straight between those 2 points. And the line extends the entire way, basically. Okay, so then this line right here represents the graph y is equal to 3x. All right, let's try a couple more. All right, so here's the second example. So this time we're going to graph this equation right here. So y is equal to 1/2 x plus 5. Okay, so again, the first thing you want to do is make yourself a table with x coordinates and y coordinates, okay? And then the second thing you're going to do is just plug in whatever numbers you want. And again, normally one of the easier numbers to plug in is a 0. Okay, so let's plug in a 0 for this x right here. And then we're going to end up solving for y. Okay, so just rewriting this equation right here. We're going to have y is equal to 1/2 x, but remember we're going to plug in a 0, and then plus 5, right? Plus 5. Okay, so then we're going to have y is equal to 1/2 times 0, which is just 0, and then plus 5 right there, right? And then 0 plus 5, that's just equal to 5. So here we have y is equal to 5, all right? So we found our y coordinate, right? Okay, so we found a point right here, right? So it's going to be 0, 5. Okay, so let's plot this point right here. So 0, 5 would be, well, we're not going to move anywhere in the x direction, right? So we're just going to go straight up 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this point right here is 0, 5. All right, great. We found one point. Now let's find one other point so we can graph this bad boy. So I'm going to plug in another number, just any number I want. And this time I'm going to plug in a 2. Okay, and the reason I'm plugging in a 2 right here is because when I multiply it by the 1/2, I'm going to have 1/2 times 2. And 1/2 times 2 is equal to 1, right? And then 1 is an easy number to work with, right? But if I plugged in, instead, if I plugged in a 1 right here, I would have 1/2 times 1. And then 1/2 times 1 is equal to 1/2. And I don't want to work with any fractions. I want to get rid of them if possible. Okay, so in order to get rid of this fraction, that's why I'm going to plug in a 2 instead. Okay, so that's a little tip, little pro tip, I guess, just to kind of look ahead to kind of make your work a little bit easier so you don't have to deal with these fractions. So again, I'm just going to plug in a 2, okay? And let's bring the equation down here. So we're going to have y is equal to 1/2 times 2 plus 5, right? Plus 5. Okay, so then we're going to have, simplifying this, y is equal to 1/2 times 2. Well, again, 1/2 times 2 is just equal to 1, right? And then plus 5 right here. Okay, so 1 plus 5 is equal to 6. All right, so then y is equal to 6. Okay, so we found our y coordinate here, right? It's a 6. All right, so we found another ordered pair, another point right here, and it sits at 2, 6. All right, so let's plot that point. So 2, 6 would be, well, starting from the origin again, we're going to go over 1, 2, and then go up 6, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so in order to graph a line, all you need is 2 points. All right, and then you're just going to draw a straight line between these 2 points. Okay, so right there-ish. That's good enough. Right there. Okay, and we can extend that line a little bit. Okay, so this line right here represents this equation. Y is equal to 1/2 x plus 5. All right, let's do one more. Okay, so last equation right here that we're going to graph is x plus y is equal to -2. Okay, so again, first thing you want to do is draw yourself a little table right here, okay, with your x and y coordinates. Okay, second thing you're going to do is plug in whatever numbers you want for, you can also plug in numbers for y. Let's just do that for this one. So for y, let's plug in a 0, okay? It doesn't have to just be x, so let's use y. So let's plug in a 0 right here for y. Okay, so then rewriting our equation up here, we're going to have x plus y, which is 0, right, is equal to -2. Okay, so x plus 0, that's just equal to x. So x is equal to -2. Okay, so we found what our x coordinate is, right? -2. Okay, great. We found one of our points right here, right? So it's at -2, 0. So let's plot that point really quick. Okay, so from the origin, we're going to go -2 spaces in the x direction, so -1, -2. And then 0 spaces in the y, so we're not going to move up or down. So we're just going to stay right there. Okay, so that's one of our points. And let's find one more. So this time, let's plug something in for x. Let's plug in a 1. Okay, so we're going to plug in a 1 for x right there. So we're going to have x plus y is equal to -2, right? But in this case, we're going to have 1 plus y is equal to -2. Okay, so then solving for y right here, I'm just going to subtract the 1 from both sides. Okay, so here we have 1 minus 1, that just cancels out. So we're just left with this y right here. And then that's equal to -2 minus 1, which is equal to -3. Okay, so we found our y coordinate, right? Y is equal to -3. Okay, so we found our other point right here, and it sits at 1, -3, right? So let's plot that point. So that's going to be 1 and then -3, right? 1, 2, -3. So right there. Okay, and then again, the last thing is just drawing a straight line between those points, and then you just extend it to the very ends of the graph. Okay, so then this line right here represents the equation x plus y is equal to -2. So if you found the video helpful, definitely leave a thumbs up down below. And if you have any other questions or want to see any other examples, just let me know in the comment section below. Also, there's a couple playlists attached that I think you'll find helpful, so definitely check those out, and I'll see you there.